All right. Welcome back. Episode 19, Risk It for the Biscuit podcast. I'm Mark, and this is
Roman, also known as Mark's brother.
Yes, and we're back at it with another episode. Happy Monday. Hope you guys had a phenomenal, beautiful week. And, I'm just ready to get right into it.
Yep.
Whatever you got, what are we doing? What are we talking about?
We can start with a little bit of news from this week.
Is this Roman or Elon Musk I'm sitting next to, huh? Breaking news.
Yeah,
have a big
that's Elon
announcement?
Musk's business, right?
Okay,
Breaking news.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there was a small. You just moved the camera.
That's good. That was supposed to happen. It was part of my plan. All
I'm
right.
gonna call you out on that.
My apologies.
There was a small incursion into Belgorod.
Okay.
Very small incursion of about 70 or 80 Ukrainian-backed Russian troops.
Okay.
They just had a small little party there. You know,
When did this happen?
Monday morning I woke up and I'm like, oh.
Last week.
Last Monday. It's very beautiful. It's very interesting because that same day I think, the Russian MOD, they were like, killed all 70, destroyed everything and all that.
I saw that. I saw the city.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, they're all like, oh, like, blah, 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 no videos of any bodies. They showed some bloody uniforms that were the wrong pattern camouflage.
Okay.
And then they showed 2 Humvees that they said were destroyed. But it looked like they were just winched into some holes and kind of made to, because there wasn't any burn marks on them. There wasn't any whatever. So they were saying like that was like probably some Humvees from Bakhmut or somewhere else where they just kind of pulled them over there to make it look whatever. And then a couple days later, the Russians retreated back into Ukraine. Really weird to say, but the Russians retreated back into Ukraine because they were Russian. They're like Russian citizens that are fighting for Ukraine.
Okay.
So they're Ukrainian-backed.
They came back into
Russian
Ukraine.
units. Yeah. That was very interesting and it was very funny to watch. Let's not forget, some people will say there was no tactical significance or there wasn't anything actually gained. But we have to remember it was incredibly funny. So
that was my thought as well. Watching that.
Incredibly funny.
Kind of watching it unfold.
Yeah, and then we had this really big Russian, kind of propaganda or fake. I believed it for like a day or two.
Okay.
About General Zaluzhny. On Monday.
Zaluzhny, that's not the Wagner guy. Wagner's Prigozhin.
Right.
All right. I don't follow it.
Valery Zaluzhny is the top general of the Ukrainian army.
All right. Oh wait, the Ukrainian army. My
Yes.
fault. I thought you just said Russian. That's my fault.
Yeah. No.
All right, go ahead. Go. I'm slow.
It's okay. Like Monday, people were like, "Where's General Zaluzhny? Like, we haven't seen him in a few days." It was like some Russian accounts like, "Where is he? Where is he?" And I'm like, "Dude, I don't know where he is. Like, who cares?" Then Tuesday they were like, "Oh, he was in a military base in Kherson. It got bombed. He's dead." And I'm like, "Well, okay. I'm not gonna believe you." And then Wednesday, a bunch of like Russian Telegram chats and like Twitter accounts were like, "He's not dead. He got seriously injured. They're doing brain surgery on him right now. We have sources saying he's doing brain surgery on them." And I'm like, whatever. I ignored it. And that same day, I think it was Wednesday, this one Ukrainian blogger posted a picture. He's like, "See, like I'm with Zaluzhny. Like he's all good." The picture was from a month ago.
Okay.
And she posted it. And I was like, well, that's a little interesting that like a Ukrainian blogger trying to prove that everything's okay with Zaluzhny posts a picture from a month ago with him. And I'm like, that's a little that's kind of weird, right? Like if just don't post anything, or if you actually have a picture with him that day, then post it. And everyone's like, oh, like he must be like hurt or whatever. And then Thursday morning, someone's like, this one a Ukrainian blogger guy. He's like, guys, I have terrible news about General Zaluzhny or whatever. And like the camera pans and he's just sitting there and he's like, what's up? Like he's fine.
Was that the fake? The deep
Yeah.
fake?
So I mean, it wasn't like a fake. It was just saying there was so much Russian propaganda about that he was dead, and then like, oh, he's not dead, he's injured. Like I even believed that after that Ukrainian blogger posted that picture with him from a month ago, saying that she was took that picture today. So yeah, kind of. I forgot the golden rule about
Don't believe everything on the internet.
No, like how do you know if something is a lie? Is if Russian Telegram channels are saying it's true, it's probably it's literally been true for the entire world.
I mean, yeah, that's a good measuring stick as well.
And I shouldn't have fell for it because Alexei Arestovich, he does live streams every other day or so, and he said he's close friends with Valery Zaluzhny. They've been friends for 20 years, and he's like, I called him the other day, like he's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I shouldn't have believed him. I shouldn't have believed those fakes, but I did for a day. I was like,
yeah, someone like you who reads as much as you do, I'm usually the one believing the fake stuff.
Yeah, I know. I follow a lot of Russian accounts on Twitter just because you gotta have a pulse on things, and they were all. Oh, there's this one guy, Armchair Warlord. He's so it's just
Russian?
so funny. No, he's a British guy.
Okay.
But he's very supportive of Russia in the conflict, and it's just funny because there's a lot of accounts that post because a lot of people delete their tweets when they have a bad take.
Yeah.
He does, he definitely does that, and so people screenshot all of his bad takes, and it's just hilarious looking back at them, because I think it was him. He was saying 72 hours for sure, back on February 24th, and someone asked him after 72 hours have gone by, they're like, is it still 72? He's like, probably 96. And now, a year and change later,
So he was for Russia from the jump?
Oh, yeah.
And he lives in the UK?
Yeah, I think, yeah. There's an account. So his account is Armchair Warlord, right? That's his, Twitter handle. And there's a meme account, Armchair Cope Lord. And it posts all, the all the cope.
Ones.
Yeah, it's so funny. Oh, and then also there was another... Ukraine, the country with no navy, hit another Russian warship.
They don't have a navy.
Well, they don't have a, Russia has multiple.
Oh yeah.
They have patrol boats that patrol the rivers, and then they have some navy boats that but they don't have warships. They don't have big, Nimitz. I mean, obviously they don't have a Nimitz class carrier because you couldn't put one in the Black Sea, but they don't have any.
Put it.
No, aircraft carriers won't fit in the Black Sea, but I'm saying
so
they don't have anything close to that. So they hit them with 3 drones. Apparently, Russia destroyed 2 of them, and then there's footage that came out that one of them hit the. It's the Ivano.
I saw that. I think
Ivan Kurus.
I think I saw the videos of the drone.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But that's so interesting how I don't know. I just thought about Singapore because they got their independence in 60 something.
Mm-hmm.
So Ukraine gets it 92.
Yeah.
Right. That was 91 after the fall.
91.
But so what's because Singapore built up their military. I mean, they built up everything, but it's kind of what's the priority, and when you're building military, I guess for Ukraine, you know anything about that?
Well, the flagman of the Russian Black Sea Fleet, Moskva. The interesting thing is all 3 of them. No. So why did I say all 3? That ship was built in Ukraine
During the Soviet Union.
Yeah, it was built.
It's an old, are all
I want to say Kryvyi Rih.
Are they all old like that?
Yeah, most of them
ours?
are. Yeah, because it's a really big carrier. So the interesting thing is that there was 3 of those ships made. Okay. One of them is currently in a museum in Ukraine. I want to say it's in Dnieper.
Why don't they pull that boy back out?
Yeah. I forget what happened to the second one, and then the third one we sank.
Okay.
It's at the bottom of the Black Sea now.
That's actually funny. We built it and then we sank it.
Yeah, it's funny, but then
What? What do I know?
Well, our own ship was tagging it, and there's also a lot of the S-300 missiles that are hitting Ukraine now were originally Ukraine's that were given to Russia. So.
Oh, in the agreement with I forgot what
in the Budapest memorandum, and then also in the 90s and the early 2000s when Ukraine's military was just getting parted out.
Yeah, about the politicians.
Yeah.
Like corrupt dudes.
I mean, 2014, I think there was like 5,000 military, like active military members in Ukraine. 5,000.
5,000.
Yeah. So.
Dang, man. That's what. When I went to Singapore, that was one of the things that, well, it kind of was like opened up to me, and it kind of made sense also as to why, like, I guess there's, I mean, Putin and Russia, whatever, why they're so like serious about Ukraine is because like the path that I saw Singapore kind of go on in terms of like their whole strategy from the jump, because they were a impoverished nation.
Yep.
Their whole strategy from the jump is to attract foreign investment. You know, bring in other companies, American companies, British, whoever, you know, whoever has the money to attract them. And so, I mean, especially the last, like, I mean, when did we have the Euro Cup? 2012 in Ukraine?
I believe it's 2012.
Yeah, so, like, since then, you know, the whole thing is attracting foreign investment, of course. I mean, I don't know any Ukrainian person that doesn't want to be part of Europe, you know, so that. But then also... the advantage over Singapore is just the richness of the natural resources in Ukraine. Like Ukraine would literally be like a superpower if it was just left alone and kind of let to do whatever it wanted to do, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, off Crimea, there's a lot of oil.
Oil, yep,
Yeah.
oil, and
there's steel, a lot of steel, coal.
The mines in Solidar, right? What was that?
Salt mines.
Salt mines.
In Solidar, and I think Bakhmut, on the outside of Bakhmut, there's also salt mines, or were.
Yeah. Didn't they say they drowned them? They put water in all of them, filled them up with water? The Russians did.
I believe those were coal mines in Donetsk. I don't know if they did that.
But yeah, just like,
yeah,
man, like what I mean, I hope it still will be, you know, whenever we kick those knuckleheads out.
Yeah, I don't know about Bakhmut, man.
In regards to,
like, rebuilding Bakhmut, it's there's not a single building that's in one piece. Or Marinka looks like it's out of like post-apocalyptic movie. There's nothing left in Marinka.
I mean, from one sense, yeah, but I mean, if you remember back on Germany and all that, cities were destroyed. It's leveled, same thing.
London was leveled.
Yeah, so,
not leveled, but it was it was heavily bombarded.
I actually did not know that.
Oh yeah, like in World War II, the Germans they got really close. You know, they had bombers just going over London, just dropping bombs and stuff. Yeah, they were really close to the like. It was getting really close to them. And what's that movie? There's that movie about the World War II beaches. Harry Styles in it, isn't it?
Dunkirk.
Dunkirk was. Anyway, Dunkirk.
My bad.
Dunkirk. It was like devastating for the
Germans.
No, for the English. The English retreated from Dunkirk.
Yeah.
They left behind the majority of their weapons, right? Like so many guns and like artillery and ammunition. So much of it was left behind at Dunkirk and like surrounding areas. Like it's not like it was like the majority of everything they had. They left for the Germans. So that was like a devastating.
No, yeah, I'd want to rewatch that, and then right after rewatch the Churchill movie. You remember we watched that?
Yes, the Churchill movie's so
crazy, bro.
So good.
I mean, the biggest moment that sticks out to me is when he goes towards the end.
Yeah.
First of all, I didn't realize that the events happened in such rapid succession. Like he gets elected or prime minister, and then it's like in a week, like he has to make that decision.
Yeah.
And
very big decisions, you know, a lot of lives.
Yeah, and it was crazy how the people in the parliament wanted to just negotiate with Hitler and like whatever. And then the biggest scene that I remember, like the one from the whole movie, is when he gets on the train or whatever it was, the subway.
Yeah.
And he talks and the
people are like, no. The
mom's like, we'll fight him off with our brooms. Like the little girl was like, yeah, like all the kids were like, screw that, you know, like we're gonna fight till the end. And man, that's like,
yeah, facts. No, I mean, like I think right now, if there was a negotiated peace in Ukraine, the army would be like,
that's crazy. Well, I mean, yeah, no, for sure.
Or I mean, maybe the army as a whole probably maybe they wouldn't, right? But there would be so many partisans and like.
Yeah, the only problem would be the ammunition, and I guess
that wouldn't be a problem.
It wouldn't be a problem.
I don't think so.
I mean, that's the only thing I could immediately think of.
Because partisan activity, partisan warfare, you don't need
crazy.
You don't need artillery. Yeah. Partisan warfare is just like it's like terrorism. That's what it is. You're just terrorizing the enemy.
Yeah.
You know, like what was happening in Kherson when it was still occupied, where just soldiers would get knifed at night. You know, like you just constantly make them on high alert. And I mean, it's happened a lot in occupied territories. You know, where deep behind enemy lines, like, oh, this explodes. Oh, car bomb in Donetsk. So and so dies. Like, it's just like
dang.
That happened. So like, yeah, definitely partisan warfare wouldn't stop even if there was a negotiated peace.
Oh yeah,
not a chance.
A bunch of guys and people, girls too, that are just fighting that. After everything they've been through. Yeah, I don't think they would just.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching a. Sorry to interrupt you, but there was a documentary. It's like from 2014 or 2015, Vice maybe. It's just like some Oh, rest in peace, right?
Yeah, rest in peace. Moment of silence.
Hell would be they? No, I'm kidding. But they were following, like, there was just this guy. His name was like Vasa or something. He wasn't part of the Ukrainian armed forces. It was like 2015, 2016, maybe 2017. Like it was before the 2022. He wasn't getting paid for this. He was just like, I just like to fight, and he would just go with his other buddy. They would just go to the front lines, go to some trenches, and they would just fight, for like a couple days. Then they would go home.
They weren't in the army or anything?
It was like a hobby for them, It was just, they were just, nothing better to do. They had like the anti-drone guns,
Mm-hmm.
They would like, take enemy drones out of the sky. They had RPGs.
How did they let them do that? Don't you have to like be...
They just had like an agreement with the local commander. They were like, hey, like...
This is in Ukraine?
Yeah. Just like some guy named Vasa or something, just somewhere in the Donbass.
Bro, that's what I think. I don't think people understand.
No,
the Ukrainian people. Like, it's awesome, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I remember. I think Mom always tells a story where the guy is like a commander, general, or something. Like he's leading his group of guys, and they're in a shootout. And like he says, he looks over to the left. And there's like an old man, like 70 years old, sitting under the tree, and he's like, "Hey guys, like if y'all use my window, it'll be more accurate. Like you'll have a better shot." And the guy's like,
yeah,
what is going on, bro?
To that point, I was watching an interview with the head of the SBU, which is like the Ukrainian military intelligence organization. And they were saying, Chernobyevka?
Yeah.
Where they like literally destroyed like so much equipment there.
Hotel Chernobyevka.
Do you know how they got the majority of their intel? Like for when there would be equipment there?
Mm-mm.
There was this old grandpa that lived.
No way.
His house. If he looked over his fence and he kind of got up on his fence a little bit, he could see what was on the airfield.
Oh.
And so like they would just call him, it's like night. He's like, oh, like I'm already sleeping. They're like, can you just go check like what's going on over there?
Shot, dude.
He's like, all right. And so he like comes out and he's like, yeah, so they got like 11 helicopters, 2 tanks.
Oh my goodness.
And then like 30 minutes later, just boom, 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 And that was how they got a lot of their intel, like as far as, what was there at like specific times. They would just call this one grandpa that just had like a fence that overlooked Chernobyevka, and they would just... That's how they got it.
That's crazy. That's like that makes me think. Remember that video I showed you from PBD, the Sebastian Gorko, the guy the Hungarian guy.
Yeah.
He talks about this is Ukraine, 1776.
Yes.
I was reading the it was a book. I'd recommend to read it. Did you listen to it? The George Washington about his spies.
I listened to like half of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they talk about because there was like 4, 5, 6 spies that Washington had in his circle. And they were in Manhattan or whatever on the island of New York. And they talk about at the end how there was one spy that is like, they don't know the identity of this spy. And there's a hunch or like the evidence points to it being like some woman or whatever. But similar to how that old man is finding, the equipment, and they're getting his intel. This spy, she lived on the harbor, like on the Hudson.
Yeah.
And so whenever she would do her clothes, like on the clothesline, she would hang up, like if she was hanging up this shirt or this pant, or like a quantity of stuff, then the other spies, because there was a guy, I forget his name, but he would come down on the boat. Mm-hmm. He would smuggle stuff and also pass down information. And so whenever the guy would come down, he would look at whatever's on the clothesline, and that was the information.
That was like a signal for something.
So it's like interesting how man, I was thinking about this the other day too. Like Solomon writes in somewhere, Ecclesiastes, there's nothing new under the sun. Everything repeats itself. Absolutely everything repeats itself.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. It's so sick.
Yeah. No, that same Esbul, the director of the Esbul, he was saying when they were like during the defense of Kiev, he remembered like distinctly because he wasn't the commander at the time, or maybe he was, but like he was on the front line, like in the Kiev region, and he remember he's like looks to his left, looks to his right, and to his right is some civilian who's fighting alongside them. Adidas like tracks slides in like an AK. Yeah. He's like, what are who we hitting?
Just showed up.
Just like
on the first 3 days.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, dude, that's.
He just got out of his house, like just woke up or whatever. Tracksuit, slides, socks.
That's literally like, it makes me think like there's moments in history where like you like remember on.
Yeah.
And I just remember like, oh man, those first like 2-3 days when it all started.
Yeah.
And it's like I was so pissed pissed and anxious, like because you sent me like that Twitter stuff about like the thread with just updates.
Yeah.
And like especially like those first couple of hours, it's like, oh, they're here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, we literally have friends there, like our grandma, like they're in Kiev, like. And I'm just like in shock.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, but like our boys, like, like we gotta be fighting back. And there was no updates for like a couple days. But then like you start hearing stories of how people just like came out, and it's like
when they got back Hostomel, remember that? When they got back to the
airport?
Yeah. Like that was crazy.
That was so sick. And do you remember about the airport, what they said? Because they had intel obviously that it was gonna happen, the invasion was gonna start.
Yeah.
And they I don't know how accurate this is. Maybe you know more, but they said on the 24th they put all their equipment in the air. Ukraine did? We did, yeah. They put the planes in the air, so that way, like, they couldn't bomb them and stuff like. Because I think they bombed the strip and the.
Well, they did a lot of things.
The hangars, or they even got like tarps with outlines of planes on them.
Yeah, so they did a lot of things. I don't remember everything, but what I can say to that is I think Alexei Reznikov, he's the head of the Ministry of Defense. He was saying some of the preparations they did, like they scattered a lot of their aircraft among different air bases, so they weren't all grouped together into one. And for example, Hostomel and Borispol is the big international airport. They poured oil on all the runways. They covered all the runways in oil so planes couldn't land.
They did this the night.
Or like in the week or something like.
That's crazy that they knew that, bro.
Well, because they knew they were going to invade. They just didn't know the exact day. So they did that in preparation. I think they mined the airfield in Hostomel, and they mined a couple of them, and then they poured oil all over them so planes couldn't sit down.
What would happen if a plane sits down on oil?
I think it couldn't stop.
So it just
crashes. Crash. I'm assuming that's why they did that. And then they had both Hostomel and Borispol, and there was one more airport. They had them pre-sighted, their artillery. They had them pre-sighted. So if something did land, which I don't think anything besides helicopters landed, no airplanes landed. But, like when all the troops gathered at Hostomel, they immediately started getting bombed because it was all pre-sighted. They were ready to go. They were just bombing the crap out of them.
The documentaries and stuff that's going to come out after. And
all
the footage, that's just going to be insane, bro. That's going to be crazy.
Yeah. And there's, there's going to be a lot of interesting details because there was a couple, well, not a couple. There was a lot of like traders. A lot of people that sold out.
Yeah, that's what or if I don't want to mention names, but our friend was saying, he was like, they sold Kiev. That's how they first even got into Kiev, was some Ukrainians sold, but then they also sold out the Russians, and they also sold out the Ukrainians, but then they also sold out the Russians. So they double dipped and then just dipped the country.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably some of that, and I know, what a lot of people were saying in Mariupol, the people who are defending Mariupol, is they were saying like, the path from Krim, there were supposed to be minefields there. The minefields were either disarmed, or like the Russians knew where they were. Like the head of the SBU that's supposed to be answering for Crimea. Krim.
Well, for our
for our audience,
for our 5 subscribers.
Yeah, so he he got arrested. He's held right now, like he's being interrogated or whatever. He's like in detention, for treason, for high treason, which is 15 to 20 year sentence.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know what we did with treasoners in 1776?
Yeah.
Off with their head.
Yeah, I mean, because, dude, they, on the first day of the invasion, they went from Krim to Kherson with no real, nobody stopped them to get all the way to there.
Well, I mean, that's actually surprising considering their incompetence in the other areas. If you look on the deep state we could probably pull it up next. We'll get nice with that pulling up stuff.
Yeah.
But the Donetsk part, they literally stepped out like that. They've had that since 2014, and they stepped out like nothing. So it's like,
well, I mean, they got to Izium, they got pretty far, but then
on the lower part though.
Yeah,
there's up or not. Whatever area that's I don't have it right now, but on the deep state map.
Donbass?
Something like Donbass. Yeah, they stepped out like nothing.
Yeah, like Avdiivka, the line. I mean, it's moved a little bit, but not a lot.
Yeah, wild stuff.
Anyway, I don't want to make this the Ukraine podcast, but those were some of the interesting things that happened this week.
There's updates, so I mean, things are moving, and I don't know what the future holds and stuff, but. Yeah, I mean, updates, because it's been quiet for a while, so that's good. But it is a Memorial Weekend.
Yep.
Right, so a little bit about America. Have you been listening to anything about America? No. So, debt ceiling, that's what I've been following.
Yeah, something about that.
Every time I go to the gym, that's on the news, is debt ceiling.
Who cares?
Well, who cares in a way, but... I saw an interesting tweet as well. It was like, okay, we reached the deal, but once we raise the debt limit, the government needs to create a demand for the treasury bills, which is about $4 trillion. They need to create the demand, but you know how they create the demand? Is chaos everywhere else. That's what the tweet said. So that was just interesting, I guess.
Okay.
But I think with Memorial Day, are we watching the Joey Diaz compilation tomorrow?
Is that a rhetorical question?
Yeah, so me and Roman, we have this thing. It's kind of, I mean, it's funny to us. I don't think it's bad, but like 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day, we watched the Joey Diaz compilation about America. Where I
think that's a requirement to be in America.
I believe so. And he goes on his rants, and then of course 9/11. We watched the Chris DiStefano stand-up bit. This is tradition. This has been years of tradition. I'd recommend it. So tomorrow, if you want to look up Joey Diaz USA compilation, it's like a 13-minute video, but it'll make you very proud to be an American.
Very proud.
He tells some great stories. He goes on some great rants. Profanity a little bit, but I mean,
it is what it is.
Yeah, that's that. But I just love America. And on the PBD podcast with Sebastian, the guy, he broke it down very simply, and I agree 100%. He said there's only 2 types of people. It's the question. It's the answer to the question. Like, do you love America or do you hate America? Like, is America the best place ever, or is America the problem?
Yep.
And that's what the battle is, especially in our politics. I have not been following as closely, but yeah. And I have come up with a new rule. How many amendments do we have?
24?
No, dude, it's like 28. I think.
Okay, 28.
28. All right.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say we have 29, so we can add the 30th.
Uh-huh.
All right, hear me out. Hear me out on the 30th Amendment.
Okay.
Whoever's politicians you're watching this. Okay, so if you have never left the country, if you do not have a passport, you are not allowed an opinion on whether you are not allowed to say America is bad if you have never stepped foot outside the country. Illegal, straight to jail.
Yeah.
You say anything bad about America, done for. All right. If you've left the country, but it was only like for vacation purposes or for...
Is that my phone?
Probably. But let's just... I'm breaking down a new law here, Roman. So
this is important.
Very important. If you've left the country, but only for like a week, or if it was like for vacation purposes,
there we go.
Your opinion only matters like 15%.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. You're allowed to complain about
your
America.
vote is 3/5 of a vote.
No, that's not 3/5. That's not 3/5. But you are only allowed to complain on a Monday morning, all right? By afternoon, you get back to work, you shut up, all right? If you like traveled abroad for like a month, all right, we'll hear you out. But other than that, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear how America is... Dude, every country is bad. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Every country, all the leaders in the world, but America is still, to this day, the greatest country. I'm tired of these losers on the internet crying about how bad America is, how many problems. We're still the U.S. of A, baby.
Greatest country on earth.
All right? So I think that's my opinion. I just love this country.
I don't think that's an opinion, Mark.
Oh, it's not an opinion. It's a matter of fact. And I'm just tired of these dorks who they don't have a passport. They've never been anywhere else in the world. Talking about how good it is. And like, apparently, I mean, I wasn't brainwashed or taught this in school, but apparently it's this whole concept of socialism and these professors in these liberal universities. Like, that's real, dude. Like, I mean, I haven't had experience with it. I don't know how it is at Kennesaw, but I mean, North Georgia, I didn't really stumble.
No, I'm an engineering major. We don't.
Yeah, you guys don't discuss politics. That's good. No. But yeah, I mean, it just blows my mind. And I'm just tired of it. America forever. America number one. Are there problems? Absolutely. I think, actually, here's an interesting stat. I don't know if we can pull this up. Let me see. I don't know what that means, but let me see. Okay, it says the U.S. has the third highest murder rate in the world. If you remove Chicago, Detroit, D.C., St. Louis, and Philadelphia, the U.S. is then 189th out of 193 countries in the world of like safest or the least murder rate.
Okay.
It says all 5 of the cities have strict gun control laws and are controlled by Democrats. Fact check it. Somebody fact check it because I did not fact check it. I just
you did. You just took a screenshot of an Instagram post that was.
It wasn't an Instagram post. It was posted on Twitter, but I think it was a credible source. But what I'm saying, of course, there is some things we need to fix. Absolutely. But the things that they're claiming we need to fix are irrelevant. America is a beautiful place. We just have to get back to what made us great in the first place. All right?
Sure.
I mean, that starts with watching the Joey Diaz compilation tomorrow morning.
Mark, we can hear every time.
I did that on purpose.
Good God.
One more thing I'm just announcing. If anybody wants to join me on this, I mean, you're probably going to be happy about it because I'm going to stop telling you about conspiracy theories and CBDC and debt ceilings.
Yes, please.
But what I'm doing, I did this a couple summers ago, but I just decided out of the blue like 2 days ago, I'm calling it how Joe Rogan has Sober October, right? That's his thing. I'm doing a no social summer. All right? So no social media. I mean, once we get to the point where I got to post the clips and stuff on Instagram, I'll post. But so for I'm going to do it when I get back from Washington so you don't, bash me for not starting or whatever. But June 5th, I'll start till August 31st. That's the plan. No social summer. We're locked in. Starting a new job. I'm trying to gain like 10 pounds, so I'm just locking in, dude. Locking in for summer. and gonna get
good.
after it. So kind of relying on you to carry the show for 3 months. How do you feel about that?
I'll carry the show in terms of
like, content. I'm not gonna know what's going on.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, I literally don't follow anything except for the Ukraine war, so it's gonna be a little.
All right, so the
heavy.
Summer of Ukraine war is what it's gonna be about.
Yeah, it's gonna be perfect. We're gonna have a counteroffensive. Oh my god.
Yeah, don't do that, Roman.
Okay.
I don't know, why is your foot?
My feet are long. I'm tall. I know you're a short guy.
Yeah, but you have a whole other direction.
Big man, little guy. You know.
All right. Are we supposed to? Did we do the thumbnail in the beginning or no?
I don't know. What did we even talk about?
This whole episode matters. But I think we'll wrap it up. I believe we've gone like over 40 minutes. Do we have a timer on?
No, 35 minutes.
35. I think that's roughly the length we want to go.
I think so.
We did 47 last week, but you were talking a lot about yourself.
I would just like to know, last episode, 13 views. How many the episode before?
I think 8. You're worth 5 views, pal.
I'll take it.
So
I'll take it.
Oh, I do have one more thing I can talk about if you're
okay
for it, or do you want to go drink? Okay,
it's like 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Yeah. So, the one thing, it kind of goes, I guess, hand in hand with the whole concept of do you love America? But well, not even that, but just the culture and the world in general. I've just noticed in some people around me, but also just because I scour the internet for fun all the time. But I think the internet and like Instagram hasn't played a good role in this, but I feel like everyone expects life and things in life to be easy, and I don't mean to sound like an off-brand Andrew Tate, but like you've got to do difficult things in your life.
Okay.
You have to do difficult things in your life. There's no other way around it but to do difficult things. Difficult things is what like changes you, what helps you grow. I think everybody, has this view or this perception because of like this like Instagram culture or Twitter, whatever culture, social media culture, where it's just like, wake up, kick my feet up, drink some coffee, go for a jog, open up my laptop, make 10K and that's it, right? But like life is supposed to be difficult. You're supposed to do difficult things. I just remember growing up, even like playing basketball, like, I wanted to play college, pro, whatever. That obviously did not pan out, but I really wanted to, and that was my dream, and I knew it would take work. So what I would do, I would watch, videos like Kobe Bryant, Steve Nash, Chris Paul, like these guys, their workouts, their trainings, right? Their stories, their life stories. Actually, Dad recommended that to me. He said, read biographies and stuff, like, or watch documentaries of people's life, because you learn what they went through. You can take some for yourself. But I remember the one thing that everybody had in common is they overcame difficult things, right? Like childhood, family, upbringing, whatever, being cut from teams, blah, 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 blah. And I thought to myself, like, what difficult thing do I have in my life? Like, I have nothing difficult. My life is literally, like, I have nothing difficult, I have no obstacles to overcome. I grew up in a family, mom, dad, like, we weren't, like, wealthy, I would say, but, I mean, we were, I guess, upper middle class at times. Life was a dream, so I was like, how am I supposed to be successful if I have nothing difficult? So I created my own difficult scenarios, that's how I started waking up early, like, so what is sophomore year of high school, I started driving. I'm up in the morning, 4:30, in the gym 5, you know what I mean? Like, that was difficult. I had to create that because I didn't have anything difficult in my life. Like, I really didn't. I gotta be honest about that. But, and then, I mean, from there, just, you gotta do difficult things, man. You have to do difficult things. Everybody wants it to be so easy. Like, it's like, we as, like, humans, I don't know, have this like desire to make everything as easy as possible, and like it's just gotten so easy where people don't want to do difficult things at all. You tell them, hey, you got to get a job. Guys are like, what do you mean get a job? Or like, you have to, like, or even building a business. You tried, right? Many times. I mean, many times. Not that you're a failure, but you've tried many times the proper auto care. Like, I remember you telling me, the things that it takes to do the business, like, all on you, and it's a lot of work, and it's difficult.
It's a lot,
and it's like, and the thing that people don't realize too is like, the rest of the world, like for now in America, like we're still chilling, I guess. Like we really do have it. We're very blessed. Like the rest of the world is not easy, bro.
It's very difficult.
Very
there's
difficult.
not as much money moving around.
So my message or my whole thing here with this little spiel is do difficult stuff, man.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Something difficult. And the thing is too, like, I just, there's like the last couple of years, there were some moments where it was difficult, blah, blah. And I realized, like, once you go through it, you are quite literally, like, you see yourself and you notice yourself, you're a completely different person.
Mm-hmm.
So even right now, like with this new job and like even with this podcast, everything, you're starting something new, and it's gonna be difficult, but it's like, if I just go through with it, I'm gonna come out different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be completely different in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks than I am right now.
Yep.
That's all it is. Difficult stuff. Pick up heavy things. Wake up early.
Yeah. Stay up late.
Wake up early.
Scroll on Twitter for 8 hours.
It's very difficult.
Not everyone can do it, Mark.
No.
Someone has
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Someone does have to. Yep.
Yeah.
How else is Elon going to pay the bills, Roman? How else?
I'm doing everything I can, Mark.
What about the CEO? You heard news about the CEO? Twitter?
What?
The new CEO he hired?
He hired a CEO?
All right. So he has not been scrolling on Twitter as much as...
No, I scroll.
I think we just have different feeds, yeah.
Yeah. No. Oh, it's
Or
like
do you
some
just-
woman, right? Some
Why did you say it like
some woman. What? Fine.
We're gonna get canceled with 13 views, Roman. We're gonna get canceled for that.
I said it was a woman.
Yeah, I know, but the way you said it was just like, you're now...
I didn't say anything negative or positive.
Well, yeah, but just the way you
Stated
said
a fact.
No, yes, but yeah.
You know what I find really funny?
Yeah.
A lot of right-wing people really support Elon Musk, and they hate Bill Gates, right? Because Bill Gates, Jeffrey Epstein, blah, blah, blah. And there's like a whole bunch of... I know because you're a conspiracy theorist, but...
I'm not a conspiracy.
Like so many, they're like, oh, Bill Gates is going to put a chip in our brain. And then Elon Musk is like, I'm literally putting a chip... There's like a meme. It's like, I'm literally putting a chip in your brain, and everyone's like, oh, yes.
No, yeah.
He's a genius.
Yeah.
Oh.
No,
Yeah.
dude, I'm not messing with any of that stuff. I remember I was in class, and we were talking about...
Elon Musk, Mark. He's the smartest man alive.
I know, but we were talking about the chip, the Neuralink, and this kid sitting next to me, he's like, whenever they put it out, I'll put it right in my brain. And I'm like, dog, what?
Mark, it's a little chip.
I was like, I am not... Dude, I don't even have Apple Pay. I don't use Apple Pay.
You don't use Apple Pay?
I'm... Whatever is on the path of dystopian control, I am fully against it.
I love Apple Pay.
I can't stand it.
Mark, it's not this...
It's too dystopian for me.
Not dystopian. It's literally, it's easier to use.
Yes, and I like to do difficult things. I like my life with a little bit of challenge.
You have a bank account?
Yeah.
Delete it. Withdraw all your funds. Keep all your money under your bed. In gold.
No.
Gold denominated currency.
Bitcoin.
Oh,
You're not a Bitcoin believer? Are you...
Mark, if there's nothing easier to track than a Bitcoin transaction.
Correct.
There's
But
nothing
you can't
easier.
control it.
Yes, you can.
All right, let's bring Michael Saylor on. He'll tell you.
I love Michael Saylor.
Yeah, I like him too.
I could listen to him. I listen to him like it's like background music. I could listen to him for like 20 hours.
He's just so intelligent. Like, I'm learning, and then at a certain point, I just kind of tail off. Like, I can't.
I get into like a meditative state when I'm listening to Michael Saylor.
He's very calm too.
Yeah, he's just calm, and he says so many big words, and I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, you're a nerd, so you like those big words. But no, yeah, dude, I think it's gonna be fine. I think everything's gonna be good.
Yeah, so good.
Less conspiracy theories for me this summer.
Yes, please.
So, yeah. I think that wraps it up, though. I think we did good. 40 minutes and 43 minutes, I think.
Yeah, not bad.
I will be out of town this weekend. I'll be back Sunday or Saturday.
Okay.
But you hold the fort down. All right. Okay. And I hope all you guys have a fantastic week. We are going to get things in order in our ship here and improve. Roman's complaining about the camera quality and the sound. And I need headphones. If anyone wants to donate me a pair, and I'm just kidding. I'm not a wagey. I'm not a brokey. I'm going to buy a pair of headphones. Okay. But, Yeah, I think that's it. Any closing remarks, pal?
My nose is stuffed. I can barely talk, so.
I did not notice at all.
Yes.
All right. Are we doing? Wait, did we do thumbnails?
No.
All right, sweet. Y'all have a good week. Risk it for the biscuit. Take some risks. Do some difficult things. Love America. And,
Amen.
And we'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace.
Peace.